Okay, you guys, I have never gotten over my Twilight phase, and honestly at this point, I don't think I'm ever going to. If you've been following along with my shoots, you'll know that I've been trying really hard to push them in regards to creative direction and production, and part of that leveling up for me has meant leaning into things that have always inspired me. So this time, we're fully leaning into my love of vampires. Let's jump into it. This whole shoot was initially inspired by the Midnight Sun book cover. I think it's such a perfect image for a vampire story. The way the pomegranate juice mirrors blood is just the right amount of dark and dramatic. It hints at something otherworldly while still keeping one foot in reality. The cover of this book is one of my inspirations, so I'm trying to cut the pomegranate to look like this. I like it better when it's not like a clean cut. Like you kind of half cut it and then... Oh yeah, that's perfect. Look at that. The pomegranate is meant to symbolize blood, or maybe even a heart. So I wanted it to feel messy. I love using it as a symbol because it adds a layer of ambiguity. Vampires don't eat pomegranates, humans do. So maybe our model isn't a vampire after all. She's just eating fruit. I had a strong visual concept taking shape, and I knew exactly the location to bring out the gothic vampire look. It's a spot I've used a few times before, some nearby abbey ruins that are absolutely stunning and the perfect backdrop for a vampire's lair. This is my model, Mary. You may have seen her on my channel before, though you probably won't recognize her as she was hidden behind a mask in my short film. She was amazing back then, and I have been dying to work with her again because, as you can see, she is beautiful and has this ethereal, mesmerizing beauty that makes her perfect for the dark fantasy world we're stepping into. I'm pulling out my biggest ball gown skirt. This piece brings the drama, but it's so large and has so many layers of fabric that it's a bit of a nightmare to work with. But I do love these types of skirts because they're super versatile. You can completely change the look just by switching up the top. Plus, they're adaptable enough to fit a range of body types, which gives me a lot of flexibility when I'm styling for shoots. For this look, we paired it with a black corset top and layered a sheer white lace top underneath for that perfect mix of dark romance and ghostly elegance. No, that's... I'll try. Too high. Yeah, try it. If you're not comfortable, we don't have to do it. There was actually another photographer at the ruins that day, right in the main section of the abbey I had planned to use. So we started in a different area I wasn't totally sure how to make work, but something I always want to be known for is my respect when it comes to meeting other photographers. We gave them plenty of space because everyone deserves a chance to get the shots that they came for. That said, I won't lie, these first few setups weren't exactly what I had pictured. Yeah. When I've got a specific shot in my mind, it's hard for me to move on until I get it. And the location we are starting in just wasn't the one. But we tried to make it work. And honestly, sometimes that's where the magic sneaks in. Then I decided it was time to start working around the other shoot and head into the main part of the abbey, trying to avoid getting in their way as much as possible, of course. I made a last-minute decision to include some red roses. To me, they just feel like classic vampire imagery. My mind immediately goes to a manga called Vampire Knight that I was obsessed with as a teenager. Just yet another piece of vampire media that clearly still lives in my mind and is now making its way into this shoot. Once we made it into the main part of the abbey, I could feel the shift. This is the moment I dropped into that mental and creative zone where everything just starts to click, and I know that I'm making something good. And you can see it too. I mean, look at this setup. She literally looks like a vampire straight out of a gothic novel. Eyes down. During my shoots, I juggle multiple formats, capturing a range of photos and shooting both horizontal and vertical video for these behind the scenes videos and for social cuts. It used to feel overwhelming, but over time I have found my rhythm. So I bounce between my two camera setups a lot. My 5D, which usually has my 85mm on it for most of the photos, and my R6 Mark II, which is mainly for video, but I also take some stills with that as well. I found these two shots really interesting to compare, so you can see that gear can make a really big difference to the final look. So here's the same scene, same editing, but two completely different looks. I honestly love both, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Next, we sat her down next to the window, and we carefully placed the roses and pomegranates around her. My goal with this was to create a sort of still life, to make this look lived in, as if this elegant vampiric woman had been here for some time, quietly lingering in the ruins. You're like a painting.
Yeah.
I also brought out my fog machine to help elevate the atmosphere. Even just a little adds so much to the mood. It instantly made everything feel just a little bit more cinematic. I also had the idea to create a trail of rose petals, as if she had been playing a twisted game of he loves me not, Vampire Edition. It was fun to lean into these classic tropes, but give them a darker, more gothic edge. The final thing I wanted to shoot was her tearing into the pomegranate like she was ripping into a heart. Juice dripping down her hands and wrists, totally messy and visceral. That's why we saved it for the end. And huge props to Mary because she really committed to the moment.
How quickly they do sell their souls for the feast and the promise of gold. But devil, that won't be me. Devil, devil, bones of metal, metal.
Thanks for watching. I really hope my passion came through because I had so much fun making this. I love getting to dive into things I genuinely enjoy. No pressure, just pure fun and creativity. If you want to see more from this shoot, make sure to follow me over on Instagram. And I hope you'll stay tuned for the next one. Bye for now.